things are happening tonight.
Let's do it. Blackout and Blackout. So it's October 24th. I was just having my dinner, which was creamy coconut beef pasta. A recipe for which I have created myself. And trust me, on a night like this, it's literally delicious. I love it so much. The night was very, very beautiful, and I knew that everything was going to be alright. Also, I thought, because guess what happened suddenly? The lights went out. It was literally pitch black, not only in my house, but the entire town I was in. So guess what I had to do? I had to go to the power grid and I had to fix the problem that probably occurred. So, the only thing was I had to think, how am I going to find my way there if it's pitch black? Lucky for you, though, I have the best night vision, so I'm going to put it to the test. So, here we go. When I went outside, I was not kidding at all. It was literally so pitch black out there, you literally couldn't see a thing if you were just going outside right there. But somehow after half an hour, I managed to find the power box since I was literally standing right on top of it. Funny that. So I carefully got off and with the right key, I unlocked it and I opened it just to have a look. And as I realised it, there was this red wire that had literally been scorched and the power was turned off. So, with the right tools, I took out the old wire and I put in a brand new spanking wire that was literally so fresh, came out the market, and it did take me a few tries just to try and fit it in, but it all worked out well. I managed to get it in, and one by one all the lights started coming back again and all forms of electricity started to serve their purpose again. So the lights were back on. I probably became the unknown hero in the town, since they probably didn't know who fixed the power. They probably thought it would have been Western Power, but they didn't know it was actually me. But just then, as things seemed to be so cool, I heard this distant rumble up in the sky, and bear with me on this one, it wasn't thunder. There were these flaring lights, and there was a buzzing and rocketing sound. You won't believe this, I realised that it just wasn't any old show. It was an air raid by Chinese fighter jets. So, I had a quick look on the flight radar on my phone, and I managed to find several groups of fighter jets that they were just coming towards the coast, and boy, they looked ready to strike. So I had no choice, but not only did I have to shut down the power for just the town and of course my house there, I had to turn off the power for the City of Light and the Peel region too. Of course, this was set in Western Australia at the time, because I'm just having a holiday there at the moment. So I got out my air raid siren. It was an old-fashioned one, so I'd use like the handle, round it fast, round it slow, just like how they did it in the old days. I also... sorry, let me just get my torch. I'm literally reading in the dark right now. Here we go. So I sounded the siren through a microphone that connected to every speaker in the region. And I told them all about that air raid of the Chinese fighter jets and that they had to quickly take shelter. I said to them, this is an emergency, you have to immediately take cover. And so they did. They went to the safest place in their houses, and if they had any bunkers, they would just go in there, as stated by them. But believe it or not, up in the sky, you wouldn't believe this, the Chinese fighter pilots who were literally going to do the air raid, they couldn't see a thing, even with night vision devices. So they said, you know what, we'll just quit the job and we'll just head back. Because there's no point bombing a place if you can't even see it. So they turned around, and unfortunately on the way back, some groups of fighter jets crashed into each other, and only 2 groups managed to survive. I think there was like some Chinese carrier out in the ocean somewhere, because they couldn't have just flown all that way from China just to get there. There might have been some Chinese carrier that might have been out in the ocean, but the Australian Navy didn't even point it out. They're probably still looking, but to how they got here, I don't know, actually. But since they were gone, I brought the power back to the whole region, and I stopped the siren, and all the people cheered so much you could literally hear it throughout the whole state. So even if you were standing at like Marble Bar, you would have heard them from all the way down there. So not only might I have been the unknown hero of my town, I might have been the unknown hero of probably the whole region, maybe even the state, but they don't know it. They just don't know it. But I was literally so proud of this that I managed to help just over 1 million people save their lives from a disastrous event. So I went back home and I went to bed, fell asleep with a great big grin on my face. I was literally so glad that I had helped more than 1 million people without being asked to. I felt so great for that. So, and yeah, there you go. That's the whole story for part 5 of the Real Strange and Scary Things. Stay tuned for part 6, as it'll come to the prophecy of the Trident. So stay around for that. 'Cause I hear that Volodymyr Zelensky's going to be in it. Stay around for that. Now, just very quickly, later that night, from my country, I sent 30 different squadrons of Stalkers, Thunderbolt 3s, and Phantoms to create a huge air raid over an occupied land of what was known as the Chinese rebels. They'd been trying to create a civil war in the eastern Ostinian rural land, but because of this successful air raid, they were officially knocked back a long, long way. But unfortunately, since there was an expo at the time, and that had included some of the population of India, Bangladesh, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and even Afghanistan as well, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, 500 million people died that day. I know, it's like very crowded for one space, but it's amazing how 90 squadrons total could literally get that many people. So this will be the sound of air raid sirens and Stalkers and those fighter jets and attack aircraft within the background of music, and then you'll just hear the outro play. So here it is. Stay tuned for part 6, where it'll be all about the prophecy of the trident. I'm Van Thursday, and I'll see you guys around soon. Catch you later. Made in cooperation with the TSE Company Limited, Adelaide, Austin, Ireland.